the super nice, smart and educated families that are the calmest people in the world until they go to their children's soccer match. Over there, they can't help themselves but scream, bicker, complain, and constantly coach their children during the game. The highlight of that is for Nino games, in which there's a scoring zone kids need to enter the score in. When kids are dribbling outside of the scoring zone with a little bit of space, parents shouting in, shoot the ball quickly, even though the rules say that this goal wouldn't even count for the child. But besides parents just not knowing how to coach correctly and advising the wrong thing, why is parent coaching on the sideline such a horrible thing? Often when kids play, they have a specific structure they're playing in. If it's on a bigger field, the formation the kids are playing in, they're trying to follow, or on a smaller field, guidelines or guidance from a coach they're getting. From an outside perspective, not having all the context, it's very difficult to give the correct advice for the correct situation. So even something that might normally sound correctly, like playing a specific pass or going into a specific spot or taking a specific player, sometimes, or actually often, the coach might have given different guidelines trying to follow a specific plan. Without having all of the context, it's very dangerous to give advice for something that you really only know a little bit about. Hopefully, you have coaches on the field, and certainly at Fußball you will have coaches on the field that know a lot more about soccer and about specifically what they're teaching than you do. So trying to interfere and tell your kid something different is a really bad choice and will not help your kid in the long term at all. Even when the coaching is not bad itself, it definitely raises the noise level. And for the coach, you now have an additional person you have to scream against. Your words coming against the words coming from another parent, maybe even telling contradictory information, is really difficult for the kids to understand. There's more and more places to listen to and less attention towards what's really important, that is their own decision making and them learning to understand what's right and wrong. This noise level overall that raises also causes then other parents to think, oh, maybe I need to coach my child too, because if another child gets coached that's on the other team or my child might have a disadvantage by not being coached, which just makes the situation worse. Also, when you start making calls like in or out or foul or not, all of a sudden the referee gets influenced by, oh, was it a foul, was it not? I made my choice, but clearly people seem to disagree, getting concerned about if what they did was correct or wrong and having to be more accommodating to people's feeling. Then of course the other team that might disagree feels more angry towards the parents, creating more conflict as well. Overall, a free-time activity, soccer, that should be joyful and fun for the whole family becomes a more heated atmosphere that's really not needed, especially not in children's soccer. And then coming to the most important point. Kids need to learn to make their own decisions. Overall in society, we have a huge problem that children mainly do what is being told to them. So they don't think for themselves and trying to problem solve, they just repeat information and apply it somewhere. When kids have problems, the ability to solve them themselves and come up with creative solutions and test those solutions in different scenarios, it is from huge value. And we as adults need to have the patience to let kids go through this creative process. If you always fix all the problems and questions for your child's problem-solving ability will not be as greatly as it could be if they do it by themselves. We take the ability to learn away from them, which slows their learning growth overall down. Imagine going to a math test with your child, sitting next to your child, calculating every answer for your child, and then say 6, 4, 3. The kids might learn how to write down the numbers and listen to you, but they don't learn to problem solve and understand how to really come up with appropriate solutions themselves. You need to have the patience as a parent to let your child go through this multi-year learning process of doing a bunch of mistakes and doing mistakes painfully over and over again, for them to come up with the solutions in that moment. Real creative players are able to look at a situation, analyze all the data quickly, and then quickly make a choice. But if they have never learned to make those choices, they will never be a good and strong soccer player. How do clubs in Germany deal with parents coaching from the sideline or interrupting the games? They have a very easy and super effective solution. As soon as a parent is coaching from the sideline, the kid's being subbed off. This is super effective because the main goal of the parent coaching the kid from the childline is, of course, influencing the game towards their child's favor. But if the child is not playing anymore, that's pretty hard to do. What if though, if you have something really great to say, you might have experience in soccer, you might really know what you're talking about, and you have a piece of advice for a mistake the child is constantly doing over and over again. That's a wonderful thing, but save it. Save it for a real conversation with your child later. Maybe in the car, maybe at home. You can walk through it with them, giving examples, and then trying to quietly, in a safe space, telling your child on what they can improve on. When doing this, keep in mind though, don't come down with the hammer on them once, twice, 3 times in a row, telling them this, it was all bad. Be smart. Tell them that you're proud of what they achieved positively. Point out things that they have been doing better this game than games you've seen from them before. And then go into saying, and additionally, it would be even greater if, and then you can package in your advice. This makes it way easier for kids to actually accept advice and also strengthens your relationship with your child. Many parents have the struggle that they are so hard and negative to giving feedback to their child that the child feels it's like impossible to please their parents' expectation. If you can package it in a way where they feel like you love them and you support them, and then additionally you can help them by doing specific things better, they will be much more receptive to what you're trying to tell them, and soccer will stay something fun they want to do and they want to do together with you. Having you be part of their soccer experience and bonding together over the sport is a wonderful thing. So be careful on destroying that relationship with your child.